and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all colors all around the world, pay attention while I'm spitting. I'm giving you straight facts. Bald heads beware. Welcome to No Cap. I got to get back to saying it every Monday just to start the week off. Yeah, the right energy to have. But yours truly, DC. Another amazing weekend, man. Another amazing week. But you can see one of those topics, one of those days, going to say a lot of inflammatory shit. What's happening? I'm going to say a lot of inflammatory shit, but it's okay. It'll sting at first, but shit, but of course, it's story time first, right? Not really a story, more so an experience. I've dated a little bit, moved around a little bit, seen some things in life, experienced some things in life. One of the most disrespectful occurrences that has ever happened to me is when a woman has curved me and then spun the block. Because let me break it down, right? So when you curve somebody, that's basically you being like, you're not good enough. And it just is what it is. Ooh. So to spin the block, one or two things happen. Because you already evaluated the situation as you here, I'm here. So to spin the block, it either means that I done came up here or you done fell off. And in a lot of people's head, that's always what happens, right? When somebody spin the block, it's disrespectful. Because especially in a situation where they was curved first, because like ain't much change between that situation and now. So I'm still the same person. What gives? There's got to be a catch. There's something happened. All right, so story time. Got how I met this young lady. I remember now, right? Facebook friends with a young lady. All right, bet cool. I done seen her. I'm not the big social media shoot your shot type. I see you, acknowledge I see you, and go about my day. I don't too much try to interact through the phone. It's not how I was raised. It's not how I prefer to connect with folk. So I'm on Tinder, a dating app, scrolling. Just so I happen to be on there. I don't recognize her though. We match, we didn't traded numbers, conversation go on, so on and so forth. Then afterwards I recognize, I haven't seen her before. Facebook. I finally meet up with her. Nothing crazy. Go out to eat. But during the conversation, Shorty raised a lot of red flags. And I try not to play the red flag, green flag game, but some things is just like alarming to hear. For one, yeah, don't none of my kids' fathers participate or interact with them. And I prefer it that way. All right. Red flag. It's, Secondly, I don't drink water. And this wasn't like I'm saying it like just for this specific situation, right? Nah. I don't drink water. All right. That's two. And mind you, after the first one, I'm already computing in my head like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. by the second one, I'm just like, how do I plot my exit? And I try not to be disrespectful about disengaging. So a lot of times, character flaw, I'll make it so that the woman is uninterested. So they'll feel like it was their decision to disengage. Because women got fragile egos. If you sit there and tell them, hey, I'm not messing with you, here's why, you're gonna get defensive, gonna get aggressive, don't take it to heart, don't take rejection well. So, bet I'm gonna make you feel like you rejecting me, even though I'm checked out. Third problem. I'm always at the club. Like, I got a different club for every different day, and I can give you the rundown Sunday through Sunday. Multiple kids that's in school, and you in the club every day. Nah, so we disengage, right? But I'm not the type to block folk. Just hey, I communicate. Hey, we yeah, it's not gonna work. I appreciate it. You go your way, I'm gonna go mine. She hits me up years later. Years later. So I know I erased her from memory. I'm trying to figure out, all right, who's this number? It's so and so. Oh, okay. How you doing? What's going on? I'm doing well. Things are going good. Nice to hear that. I'm glad that things are going well for you. I appreciate the conversation. Excuse me. I'm thinking that's the end of it. So, what you doing? You want to get together? Not particularly. Why? And the conversation goes from like the most awkward kind of murky situation ever to hell. Like it goes to hell immediately. Somewhere along the line, she goes, yeah, my period was supposed to be here a week or two ago and it hasn't come yet. All right, well, why is that my business? I'm gonna take some pregnancy tests. I hope you do. I hope everything plays out well. And at this point, like things are starting to go downhill so fast. I'm starting to think like this can't be real. Like this can't be happening to me. It's not a real situation. He hits me back next day. Oh my God, I just took some pregnancy tests. I'm pregnant. I understand. Why didn't I block her? I don't want to like feel like I'm invalidating folk. I'm like, we can communicate that this is not going nowhere. Maybe the conversation will die, but I allowed the conversation to keep going, so that's my fault. But it gets worse. I'm like, all right, congratulations, I think. Yeah, I haven't told him yet, but so when you gonna be my boyfriend? I can't make this up. The lady told me she was pregnant. In the very next text, she's asking me to be her boyfriend. I, I'm like, ain't no way this is real. Ain't no way this is real. So again, I'm in such shock. It's just playing itself out before me. Like, ain't no way. I'm like, man, you pregnant? Shouldn't you tell the dude? Yeah, I haven't told him yet. I'm gonna tell him when I meet with him later, but I don't want to be his girl. Like, what make you think I want you? She like, and she snapped. She like, you think you too good for me? I can get from anywhere. I ain't chasing no nigga. I said, ma'am, again, as respectfully as possible. I understand you can get from anywhere because clearly you are getting it from anywhere. So why are you texting me? And she continues to blow up like, who the you think you are? You ain't worth my time anyway. Like I told you, it went to hell. Like, whoa. So I give her my final line. Your ass is fat, but your brain is flat. You texting me talking about you pregnant by some other man that you haven't told. And out the same mouth trying to get me to date you so I can take care of you and your flat head baby. With all due respect, please don't contact me again. And I hope you make better life choices going forward. Man, at that point, I blocked her. After that conversation, I had to sit there because by this time, it's like 2 in the morning. I'm in such shock. Like, there's no way that this happened. But anybody who used to watch MTV, I felt like I was getting punked. And I sat there. I probably stayed awake till like 4 in the morning, just scrolling through the conversation, trying to figure out at what point did I give off the vibe of a suck ass nigga? And should I unblock her and apologize for giving off the vibe of being a suck ass? I didn't. But it was at that point I realized that, yeah, she probably don't take care of her kids. I feel bad for them kids because at some point, like I was saying on my last episode, there's going to come a full circle moment where you realize exactly what kind of childhood you have, what kind of parents you have, what kind of situation they put you in. And now that you're an adult, or now that you are of a more understanding temperament, you're either going to feel some type of way or you're going to be more appreciative. And in a situation like that, it's going to be real uncomfortable when you figure out who your mama was, how your mama be acting, and how that led to you being who you are today. Man, that, like, of all the life happenings, man, I've lived a real interesting life. I've done some things, seen some things, been some places where I've experienced life. But that's one of them situations where it wasn't me in nature, it wasn't me in God, it wasn't me in life. It was somebody coming into my life, into my existence, just to fuck shit up. Ain't no way. But on to the topic of the day, right? And the story connected to it. Parent trap. AKA fuck them kids. And I put it in the description, right? Back in the day, folks, they used to parent as a unit. Like the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Real. You had to worry, or you had to take advice and direction and instruction from your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, trusted family friends, community members, mentors, teachers, coaches, anybody who was an authoritative figure was expected to parent your child to some degree, or to parent you as a child to some degree. And worked pretty fine. The more self-aware, responsible adults you have steering a child, the better off the child will be in the long run. compared to today, where if you're not the mom or the daddy, don't say nothing to my child. Hell, in a lot of cases, depending on if you're the mom or the daddy, you still can't say nothing to the child. The parent trap. There's so many different obstacles you got to go through in order to be a parent successfully. And if you think about it, right, it's not easy at all. Like, I hear a lot of folks make excuses on, man, it's so easy to get pregnant. It's hard not to get pregnant. You a goddamn lie. When you break it all the way down, right, not only do your sexual organs have to work, the other party's sexual organs have to work. Then, of course, ovulation. It's that time of the month where you fertile. Y'all have to do it at that time. Then you have to conceive the child, or not conceive. It's too confusing. Let's get back to layman's terms. You got to make the motherfucker. Then it has to grow. And you got to go through 9+ months at least of no traumatic events, no health issues, no accidents. Just being able to carry this child, but a minimum of 270 days. You think about it that way, bro. That's not easy. It's a long process, but step one isn't even like making it through that. Step one is related to the board. Parent trap. The first trap, because there are multiple, is understanding who you about to recreate with. Understanding the health issues, state of mind, the environment, the quality of life, and the circumstances that surround the person that you trying to fuck. Do they have a history of mental illness? Do their family have a history of mental illness? What kind of life do they live? Are they comfortable in life, or are they uncomfortable? Do they have a supportive network, or is it just them? Are they a part of another person's network? Or are they a part of a lot of people's network? Are they healthy? What's their goals for life? And do they want kids? You got a long form of questions that need to be filled out that folks is flat out just skipping and going straight to the take your panties off. Right, 1, 2, and 3. You done failed the kids before the kids even got here. So now you're figuring it out on the go. But for anybody that's ever been around kids or helped raise kids or knows people with kids, you understand that once the little kid get here, good luck trying to find some free time. I'm not gonna wish you good luck. Stop. There is no free time. You've given up on free time. Your alone time is no longer alone time. Your life is not about you. You are no longer the most important person in your life. At least if you're a good parent. I mean, you're a trash parent. Shit, you get it how you live. Team for them kids. So as bad as it sounds in the title, but it's gonna show itself. You got two choices: be a good parent, or fuck them kids. So I'm gonna say that often. folks trying to find free time or saying that I'm gonna have my own life. Fuck them kids. If you're not making it so that your child has a mother and a father, or a mother and a father figure, fuck them kids. If you only allowing 2 people to guide your children, them kids, because there's no way you expect them to succeed. You're not going to be everywhere they at. You're not going to be the only authoritative figures that they have in life. You're not going to be the only disciplinarians. A whole lot of other people are going to have their hands on your kids' paws to guide your kids. So if you basically dismissing anybody that's not you or the father and or, you basically saying fuck them kids. It's gonna be a long, hard life for them. But going back to the description, right? You should have so many people who had input on raising kids. So many people are actually parenting your kids. But we're in a more independent environment where folks want to do everything themselves. Don't trust nobody else, don't want nobody else involved. I think I'm all my child needs. And as a result, you end up with a bunch of folk who going through mental health crises, always tired, working themselves to death. It's because you didn't cut everybody else out that was supposed to give you a break. You wanted to be in control. And now you're buckling under pressure. It's too much control. You need a break. You need some space. Folks japping out, killing themselves and their kids. They tired. I don't have no support. Nah, a lot of times you got it, but you don't want it. You thought you knew better, and you figured out the hard way that you're not going to reinvent the wheel. Folks been parenting kids for millennia before you got here. But you got the audacity to think that you going to do something new. Cold, cold game. But you chose to play it. If you don't want to play it, it's easy. Snip that thing. Orectomy that thing. Wrap that thing up. Or don't participate. Easy. Easy. I won't say easy, simple. You got choices A, B, C, and D all over here. But y'all want them. Or folks are not aware of them. Or just don't acknowledge them at all, which is the most common thing. Folks is just like, man, fuck it. I'm going to do what I want. I'll find out the hard way. And the Parent Trap, right? Parent Trap number 1 is who you chose to have your kids with. Number 2, I just went over, is how you choosing to raise them. You don't got the support system, so you don't get the break. So folks are building in breaks. Here's a tablet. Here's a phone. Here's a computer. Here's a TV. Here's some technology. Out my face. And kids. So they watching this TikTok, YouTube shorts. Keeps them quiet for a long period of time so you can take a deep breath, right? You don't need nobody. You can do it all by yourself. Y'all can do it by yourself. Y'all don't need no support. I'm going to just hand them this technology and they'll be good. YouTube shorts and TikToks are reprogramming your kids. Their brains are not naturally developing. So, as a result, Their attention spans aren't developing. They're not able to focus. And then they start to develop ADHD and ADD. For some reason, every 10 seconds, their mind does that. And coincidentally, every 10 seconds, TikTok or YouTube is giving them a new video to watch, a new dopamine shot. Instant gratification. 10 seconds, boom, I'm good. Next 10 seconds, boom, I'm good. Over and over and over again. So your child will never be normal because you didn't allow them the time and space to grow normally, to be able to function and use different parts of their brain. All because you ain't want them around their teachers, or their teachers were telling them something that you wasn't trying to hear. That would require you to put in more work when you're already tired. You ain't got to take my word for it. Folks who are on TikTok all day, YouTube all day, pay attention to your mannerisms. How were you before? How are you after? Go to the schools. Talk to the counselors. Talk to the therapists. What percentage of children do they think have ADHD or attention deficit disorders, ADD, or just problems focusing in school now? I guarantee you it's higher now after TikTok than it is before. Because now mental illnesses, you've reprogrammed them. Think of it this way, because this is about to be the main point of the conversation, right? You are a computer. Your body is a computer. You constantly running programs. So stimuli are new programs. And as you run through these programs, you're processing them differently, going through them differently, picking up which ones you like, which ones you don't like, figuring out how to go about processing this information and how it impacts your computer. The script, your DNA. Text, little word we like to call epigenetics. And I'm about to bust you over the head with that shit right there. So you constantly running programs through your computer, and you constantly either picking up new habits, dropping habits, or adjusting to this or adjusting to that, but you always updating your computer. It's either going to be positive or negative. You're either going to run better or your computer's going to run worse. Your children, they still trying to figure out how to get past the loading screen. And you gave them a program that says you ain't even got to get past the loading screen. You just got to cut on, get to the login screen, cut off. Over and over and over again. So now it's a bunch of kids who don't ever get past the loading screen. Parent trap number 2. Number 3, which is bigger one, real big one. Single parents. And like, this is going to be a conversation within itself. Today, we're going to focus just on the parenting. Again, you got the folk who, I need my me time. I'm still me. A popular saying out there, and I don't want to be down on women, but women tend to have more catchphrases and more like calls to action to justify what they got going on. Men just do what the fuck they're doing. I'm a mother first. Depending on your religion or your belief system, never are you a mother first. Never. Never. or you shouldn't be. Because when you were born with all the eggs you were ever going to have. You were an individual first. And along that line, you interacted with somebody who carried sperm. Y'all was supposed to make a connection. And from that connection came kids. So you're supposed to go from an individual to a partner. And from a partner to a mother. So at best, you were supposed to be a mother third. But get partner. Get individual. You're a mother. Now, somebody explain to me how a mother dates. Because remember, mother is a nurturer, caretaker of children. So that means you should be dating through the prism of your kids. So are y'all out looking for good father figures? Or are you out looking for somebody that you want to be around and hoping that you can like turn them into a father figure? Because the only way to figure out if somebody's a father figure or not is to see them around kids, which mean all the cute dates and shit, and that matters. Let me see how you interact with kids. I might be being like real cut and dry about this, but it's really the only way. No cap. So it doesn't matter about the high-end restaurants. Can you change a diaper? I don't care about what kind of hobbies you have. Can you fix things around the house? And are you good at giving advice to people who can't use logic? Well, yeah, I know that's not what y'all looking for. Because I'm a mother first. Ain't how you date. It's, I, sorry. And man, get it, because again, there's no calling card. You won't see I'm a father first. It's I'm good with these kids. Look at how I father my kids. You rarely see men going, shit, I can make some kids. Not impressive. But for the ones that already have them, they try to curve it and make it sound good by saying, yeah, look at how good of a father I am. Look at how nurturing I can be. I can do this for my kids without you. Imagine what I can do with my kids with you. Another red flag, because it's fucking them kids. It ain't about the kids, it's about, and we get to the part where we making them. Another red flag. But again, you got single parents. Regardless of whether you have kids or not, the longing for companionship is always going to be there when you don't have one. For the majority of human beings, there's always going to be one person that's like, that ain't me. I'm not like that. I bet cool. But the majority then is going to be the need for companionship. Now, are you dating how you was dating to make the kids, or are you learning from your situation and adapting your logic? Not, because I've had conversations again. I've lived a lot of life, and I'm gonna speak for personal experience. Remember, this platform isn't just about my experiences or my logic or my facts or any just perspective that's 100% me. I like to share it just for folk to be able to share their perspectives as well, their logic, their opinions, their experiences. Once I learned that word back behind me, and I learned about everything involving the female genitals as well as male genitals. Once I learned all that information and then read into that right there, I haven't been able to converse with anybody of the opposite sex same way. Because I got to know if you know what I know at least. And if you know more than me, what else do you know? So I can update my book. And if you don't know, how can I turn you on so you can learn a little bit more? The big word behind me, which is basically like the biggest term I could, not the biggest, like the most complete term I could use to describe the topic of parenting, the parent trap, or epigenetics. Because I remember there was a big question online about, can someone love a child that's not theirs the same way they would love a child that's theirs? And in my head, I'm instantly like, nah, what? No. But folks argued you down. Of course, these are single parents. So a part of it is I need it to be real that way. It'll validate my search. And then there's a lot of folk being quiet. They're like, man, I'm not really sure. Maybe. My head, I'm like, oh, hell nah. I've seen enough people have kids, especially men, who are like, once my child got here, I changed. I've never loved like this before. The connection was different. When I looked at that baby for the first time, something in me changed. Like, if that's pretty much the common experience, then there ain't no way, dude, you could. But I bet. And again, a lot of times, I hate to be like divisive, but it's single women trying to argue me down with, yeah, of course you can love another child like your own. The single men, they not looking for that. I mean, the single father's not looking for that, because the women without kids, they not. I can't love your kids like I would love my own. I can love your kids, but I like my own. They came from me. And it's crazy how you see, like, you got the 4 quadrants. Women with kids. Of course you can love somebody else's kids like your own. Men with kids. No, you can't. Women without kids. Hell no, you can't. I love them. Men without kids. Man, hell nah. But I can show them respect and show them love. Difference being is men with kids, their kids biologically change them. Men without kids, I remained a man. And as a man, job is to discipline, provide structure, and the foundation. I was a man for you and those kids. Men with kids. I'm a new man, reborn through my kids. Difference. Women without kids. Hell no, I just love kids. All right, bet. So it don't matter if they're your kids or not. I just love them. Women with kids. Of course you can. I mean, you can love my kids like your own, but I'm not gonna love your kids like I love my own. I mean, you see the friction. Bet. And my stance was always, nah, that's not possible. And I looked into it and I came across, I swear, epigenetics. And rabbit hole. I know a lot of folks jump down rabbit holes of conspiracy theories and it takes them this way and that way. This one took me down a rabbit hole of just science, and I never was interested in science just in school unless it was like relevant to whatever situation I was in. But reading into it, man, I'm like, it's everything that I was thinking. Somebody's already studied it and proved it to be true. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'm being biased. Let me look at the other side. The other side, it wasn't no facts. It was, I mean, it's possible, but not, yeah, this is what happens to guarantee that this is going to occur. But not sure if folks can see that. Let me. If you can't see it, it don't matter. I'm going to read it to you anyway. Epigenetics. It refers to the marks on DNA that cuts genes on and off. So again, you are a computer. Your DNA is the script. Epigenetics is the text. So it's either going to acknowledge certain genes in your body or it's going to choose to ignore certain genes in your body. So allergies. Now, certain folk can have allergies to something and some don't. Y'all, and they could be twins. Like, that's a big thing that they study with twins, where you have the same DNA, but through certain experiences, certain stimuli, certain programs that you were run through, your epigenetics shifted. So it's going to acknowledge certain genes, and another person is going to acknowledge different genes. So you can have two twins, one's allergic to peanut butter, one isn't. Epigenetics. It's influenced by your environment. So diet. What you eat going to program your body to react a certain way. What time you eat, how much you eat. If you eat a vegan diet after eating nothing but chemically created foods majority of your life, it's going to have a shock on your body. Your body's going to have to react different. Epigenetics. Stress. This is a big one. Stress. Disease. I mean, it was a cool breakdown that I heard somebody say one time is disease is just dis-ease of the mind. Yes and no. The mind, until it impacts your DNA through epigenetics. If you stress to a certain degree, your body is going to react a certain way to try to cope with the stress. So might activate certain genes that also activate certain processes. So now you're constantly having migraines to cope with the stress. So much so that now you permanently have migraines. Now you develop hypertension. Remember, I ain't no scientist. You can Google this for yourself. You can research it for yourself. You can read on it for yourself. But majority of the diseases that you get in life are impacted by stress, because stress impacts epigenetics, which impacts your DNA. Toxins. Again, if you eating bullshit, your body's going to process bullshit different than it's going to process actual food, because it's not craving the food, it's craving the vitamins and nutrients in the food. If there are no vitamins and nutrients in your food, then you're just eating shit. So your body's going to process shit like shit. And when you start eating food and your body tries to process it like shit and then recognizes, oh, this ain't shit, your body's going to adjust, going to change. In relationships, big one. And This one attacks another misnomer that there is in the world. Whenever you hear somebody say they love all their kids the same and they have more than one child, they lying. It is physically impossible for you to love all your kids the same because of the stimuli that you experience or the programs that you run through your computer while you're pregnant are going to impact your experience during your pregnancy, which is also going to impact your emotions and your chemical balance when you have the child and as you raise the child. So if you have a stressful pregnancy and you're not sure if you're going to make it and you cling into this pregnancy, depending on you, you might love that child more than you love any child that you have through normal circumstances. No stress, no problems, no issues. Just penis in, baby out. You could love the first child more than that one simply because of the trauma bond that you built with the fetus. Why? Why, you ask? And this is the big one. I had to make sure it was going to be legible. Epigenetics are inheritable and reversible, meaning a lot of this shit that you have going on with you is because of your parents. And if you aren't aware of the impact your parents had on your life and you haven't adjusted your behavior accordingly, or you participate in the same behavior that your parents cultivated for you, you'll never reverse it. And I wanted to write these right underneath it, that way folks can see it. But before I get into it, remember Parent Trap, right? If you aren't aware of the circumstances of your birth, or if you're not aware of your everyday processes, then there's no way that you can be aware of how that's going to impact your kids. Because as a woman, when you get pregnant, the cell division and multiplication is going to be based on your body and the DNA of the man that you're around. So, depending on your diet, your stress levels, your toxin intake, and your relationships, that's going to shape the foundation for your child. And if you continue that same pattern of behavior through pregnancy, through childbirth, and then through all the developmental stages, you can pretty much determine how your child is going to come out, how they're going to behave, and marks on their DNA, because you affected all that. If you knew it was negative and you didn't make the adequate changes before they got here, fuck them kids. But the point that made me even start looking into it, right, was having a conversation with single mothers about, can you love somebody else's kids like your own? My stance was always, nah. Here's the line that states why. Women and men change during pregnancy. How, you say? Well, you know how women's cravings change, their behavior changes, and pretty much their activity changes to try to develop the child, or what's the word that they like to use? Start nesting, make it more infant ready. men go through adequate changes to do the same, because there's a certain level of testosterone that you give off in order to attract a mate. You can't give off that same level of testosterone when an infant's around. It's too much testosterone, you can kill your child. So your body adjusts. That's why you see a lot of men who say, yep, I've gained weight as she's gained weight. I'm more emotional. And then the term that is used for it is the love drug, where there's a certain chemical release in your brain that occurs where your body chemically adjusts in order for you to feel more emotional and more love toward this child. So you go through chemical changes that make you love this replica of your DNA. If you don't go through this stage and you meet a kid for the first time at 4 years old, do you really think that you can go through the prenatal stages post birth with somebody else's DNA? No. You can love a child. You can love children. You can connect with children, but you're not going to go through that process. And the red flag is on the other side is if your body chemically changes for you to love somebody else's kids, during at the time you're dealing with a predator. So, yeah. Parents can pass down sex appeal to kids. Not in a negative way. If mating was aggressive or was difficult for a specific generation, they're going to give off more of a pheromone or more of a hormone to attract a mate. And they can pass that trait down to their children, where children give off more of a chemical to attract mates because epigenetics. We turn that gene on where I'm trying to be as attractive as possible. And again, inheritable and reversible. So if it's easy for you to mate, your hormone levels can decrease because you don't have to try that hard. Shit just happens for me. Or if it was easy for your parents and that was hard for you, it can adjust for you the same way. They're talking about generational curses being reversed. One of the generational curses is the biological curses. You can reverse that only if you're aware of it and you adapt accordingly. Stress and mental illness can be passed down. Stress and mental illness. And with stress, if you live a stress lifestyle, again, your genetics are behaving in a certain way that your body adjusts to it. And it is what your epigenetics are acknowledging as being you. So when you reproduce, you making a replica of yourself. This is the state of mind and the quality of life that you exist in. So it's going to replicate it. And then once it's replicated, your children will be going through the same experience as you. So you being stressed in a stressed environment leads to them being stressed in a stressed environment and then learning the coping mechanisms that you use by eye. They might not listen to their elders, but they've never failed to imitate them. James Baldwin. So you could tell them to act differently, but if you behave a certain way in a certain environment, your kids are going to act how you act. And with stress, another thing, substance abuse. If you are addicted to weed, and you pretty much guaranteed your children to be addicted to weed. Of course, it's inheritable and reversible. So there's a chance that they can knock it or not get that epigenetic activity. But remember, monkey see, monkey do. If you have substance abuse issues, not just monkey see, monkey do, your DNA has adjusted to you receiving this external chemical and your body processes it a certain way. So now your body is going to no longer produce that chemical, and your children will go through it similar fashion. You trigger your own dopamine release by smoking. And until you trigger your own dopamine release, you don't get hungry. And now your kids don't eat. And they don't even get hungry until they smoke, which they learn from you and which they also inherited from you. Fuck them kids. And last one. I'm not fat, I'm big boned. Obesity can be inherited. Because diet, stress, toxins. Your body processes what you got. Your DNA is your DNA, but your epigenetic activity adapts to how you eat. It adapts to your activity level. And then again, copy, paste. Pretty common sense. So to keep it as straightforward as possible, all the shit that you do in your life is going to impact your children's lives. So if you aren't making the best decisions for them and giving them the best opportunity to succeed as possible, fuck them kids. Because the minute that you start to have sex, you are engaging in the activity that starts reproduction. When you reproduce, we're now accountable for every single detail of every action, personality trait, or characteristic that you have. And how intentional are you to put your children in the best position possible? Because if you are intentional, that means you have to micromanage every single aspect of your life, because even the shit that you don't think about is going to impact your kids. Uncomfortable conversation to have with folk who are still just doing shit. Folks don't know about ovulation. They don't know about epigenetics. They don't know about child development. They don't know about the sociology of child development, either prenatal, post-birth, infancy, toddler, grade school, all the way up through high school. Folks are ignorant to that shit. You think a motherfucker who's letting 5-year-old listening to Sexxy Redd is thinking about how me being addicted to weed is gonna make sure that my daughter is addicted to weed, which means my daughter is gonna have poor choice in men. Hell no. Folks is 17, 16, 18 years old having kids. There's no way that they thinking about, damn, my daughter's gonna have to pick a trash nigga all because I'm living for myself. But shit gets thick. And again, you free to research all of this shit for yourself if you don't believe me. Don't shoot the messenger. It's only up from here, man. No cap is going to get a lot more uncomfortable. And it's still fuck them kids. Yeah. Yeah.